my hands and so get a meat, let it drag on the floor. It's the nine in the bed that I told. Working hard, we ain't having no hope.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. That was a new one. I'm Kaice, and if you are new, take a second, go down below, hit that subscribe button, and click the little bell button so you don't miss when I post a new video. So today I'm excited because it is one of the first little festivities for my birthday. My friend Kira and I are going out to eat, and her birthday is also in 2 weeks. So we are celebrating both of our birthdays. And she's also moving, so we're also just celebrating her moving on up and just spending some time together before she leaves. So I'm of course getting ready to do my face, and I wanted to do a chit chat get ready with me just because I feel like there's a lot of things that I didn't really talk about in my 2021 reflection. It's not that I intentionally forgot to talk about them, but it's just been a lot of new things that I've been thinking about since the new year. I mentioned in my apartment update that I've been taking it kind of slow moving into this year. I just wasn't really feeling motivated to hop right back into work and stuff. Thank God I'm at a place where I can choose to do that. So we're gonna talk a little bit more, kind of like an extension of my last video. And then I might vlog a little bit later too. So first, I just wanted to talk about some of the things that did come up, you know, while I was slowly working my way into the new year. I feel like I had to do a lot of reflecting on being in overdrive. Like, not even really realizing how much I've just been on go for the past few years. I mean, I haven't really had the space and the time and the financial freedom to just stop for a moment and to pause. So I feel like this past month I had a choice. I could have just kept working because I'm very good at that. But then I'm like, wait, I don't really need to. Something is telling me not to, you know, like I don't have the motivation to. I don't really have the creativity right now. Like, why don't I just chill for a minute? You know, it's not gonna hurt me. And now I'm so glad that I did, because like I said, I'm really realizing now that I have so much more time on my hands, you know, how much I was just working and doing too much before. Like, and I mean, I've always identified as a workaholic, you know, that's nothing new, but I feel like now that I, like I said, really have the space and the time to just look around and see what's going on, it's like I can finally just let myself be sometimes instead of feeling like I have to always be doing something. And that feels like so relieving to me, because my whole life I felt like I had to do something all the time. And it's not that I didn't have, you know, exciting and great moments while I was being a workaholic and trying to do too much, because I definitely did. And I feel like the work that I was doing wasn't like treacherous work. It wasn't work that I hated. I literally can't do work that I hate. So whenever I would start feeling like I'm in a position where I'm either not being appreciated for my work, or I'm just not challenged or stimulated by it anymore, then I just switch direction and change, which y'all know all too well. As soon as I get bored with something, it's not challenging me, it's not exciting me, I'm on to the next thing. So the dynamics of my journey has kept it exciting and fun, but at the same time, I still am always doing something. And so that is definitely one thing that I'm going to work on more this year, is allowing a little bit more flow in my life. But basically, I've just been letting myself rest a lot more. And when I say a lot more, I mean like a lot. I still be getting, you know, the stuff done that needs to get done, but I'm not overexerting myself or overexerting my energy every day just because I feel like I have to anymore, or just because I feel like I'm running out of time or something. Oh my God, I just completely messed up this brow. I feel like I'm always freaking racing against time, and it's like, girl, slow down. First of all, stuff is not gonna happen until it's supposed to anyway, so you trying to speed up the timeline is not doing nothing. A lot of what I was doing before was just busy work. Again, just to prove to not only myself, but to the people around me that I was actually doing something, which who cares what it looks like I'm doing, you know? Who cares what people assume about the way that you use your time? And something that I've learned so hard about myself is that my energy is a lot different than most people. And so I have to trust that and stop trying to convince myself that I have to do things the way other people do them, because I'm not like everybody else. So with so much of what I was doing before being busy work, now I just want to focus more on doing purposeful work and not so much just posting just to post, or, you know. And honestly, what helps me do my purposeful work a lot better is by doing nothing sometimes. Literally, sometimes just being still and just letting myself think is how I come up with my most creative ideas. And not only that, it helps me to recharge myself, so that way when I do go to film, I'm filming from a place of rest and, you know, comfortability, and not like, oh, I have to do this because I told them I was going to post on Monday, or oh, I have to do this because I stuck to a schedule. We're going to talk about that too, but yeah, like just taking organic to the next level type organic. Like I still write out content ideas and things like that, but I don't execute them until it feels right too. So for example, my facial routine that I just posted in the beginning of January, that video was something that I've been trying to do for forever. I just ended up deciding to use that theme as what I was going to use for my sponsored work in that video with Osea. But I had been trying to do a new at-home facial routine for months. And every time I would try to film it, I just felt like it wasn't it. You know what I mean? And I wasn't satisfied with it. So I put it off, waited until I really felt ready, and it came out amazing. And it's still doing amazing, like better than what most of my videos do. So yeah, I'm just learning it's so important for me to give myself room and space to be and think and recharge, because thinking is literally what I am. That's literally like one of my gifts, is to be able to think. But I can't figure out a way to properly express what I think and share what I think without giving myself the space and the time to do that. The way that social media makes us feel like we need to be posting bomb content every single day is just, for some people it might be sustainable, but it's not for me. Me doing that would not be me posting consistently great work. It might be consistent work, but it's definitely not going to be consistently great, you know, because a lot of it is going to be busy work. And yes, when you're still working your way up, like you do need to post somewhat consistently. Actually, I'm actually lying. I don't even think that when you're first coming up as an influencer, you need to be that consistent. As long as you're consistent in your consistency. You don't have to be consistent in terms of what society says is consistent, like posting every single day. But if you post one good post a week, one really good post, one, you have a higher chance of that post, you know, performing well and more people seeing it. But you also did not have to exert as much energy to get really good content, you know? And the really good content is usually the organic content anyway, like the content you kind of just pull out your butt cheeks. Or just the content where you're making content from your life and not making your life about the content. I think that's something that Alyssa said to me. And I always forget exactly what she said, but it stuck with me, so I always try to remember it in some way. It's so much easier to let life give you things to make content about than it is to try to make content just because, you know? Like, y'all really only see get ready with me when I'm really getting ready to do something. I don't just get ready to sit in the house. Now, if I'm doing work, like if I'm doing like a sponsored post or something, even in that sense, I try to do it organically. Like I try to do it at a time where it actually makes sense for me to. But even if I do have to like plan it or stage it somehow, I still do it in an organic way. And I still do it like when it makes sense to. Like for example, if I'm doing a skincare sponsorship, I'm probably gonna film the sponsorship when I'm actually doing my skincare routine that morning or that night. If I'm doing a self-care thing, like I'm actually going to include the products or talk about the brand as I'm doing my actual self-care routine, you know? Sometimes it makes it a little difficult for me to actually enjoy it, but I've gotten to a point now where I've gotten so good at my angles and where to put the camera and stuff, I can still enjoy my sessions while I'm filming, which makes it more organic. Why would I want to fake it? It makes no sense to fake it. I'm also really realizing I'm not as much of a beauty guru as I thought I was. Like taking it all the way back, I started on YouTube with my natural hair journey, right? I only learned about makeup because I felt like I needed to do my makeup to post videos and pictures and stuff. Then I learned about skincare because I felt like my skin needed to look good under my makeup. Like it has always been a constant learning about one part and then building on top of it. I didn't really come to social media with a plan to be a beauty guru. It just kind of happened for me and I started creating the building blocks to expand into other things. But when it comes to like the typical quote unquote beauty guru, I don't get dressed up that often. I like sweatpants and I like shorts and I like not wearing makeup like that. Like, so to classify myself as something that I'm not even actually doing every day, which some people really do their makeup every day and some people really do get dressed up every day. And I feel like that makes it a lot easier for them to post content in that way. But I'm learning, you know, I don't like just getting up and doing my face and getting dressed up all the time. So it can be kind of discouraging in an industry where you're expected to post every day when you don't want to post every day. You don't have something to post every day. So I'm trying to pull myself away a little bit from the whole beauty label and really start to focus on getting known for who I am and what I do, because makeup is not what I do. This is not my expertise. This is not the thing that I think about all the time every day. It's just something that I got good at because this is the space that I'm in. I'm trying the new NARS not soft matte, that's the old one. This is the new NARS light reflecting foundation. It is kind of like I guess you could say medium coverage. I really like it because I don't really need heavy foundation anymore because my skin just been skinning. So it's like medium coverage. It gives a nice glow. I really like it. And I think that's another reason why I enjoyed this downtime so much, because that's literally how I was like this whole month. Just sweatpants, a t-shirt, and then going in the room and giving myself time to read and think and learn, which is what I really like doing. And then I like coming and talking about what I thought about and what I realized or what I've learned. The more time and space I can give myself to do that, the better the information that I will give is, I was watching Bree Hall's life update video the other day, and almost everything she said resonated with me so much. She was saying how the beauty space was just the door for her to have an extension of her art, but art is her life, I feel like with me, it's kind of the same thing, although I do share all things beauty. I feel like my content is just an extension of how I think. Every product that I use has a reason. Every thing that I talk about and discuss, I've looked into heavily. I came up with new ways to, do things with natural hair and in the beauty space. And I did that using my brain and my ability to conceptualize information and using my unique perspective. I honestly don't even really enjoy doing my makeup like that. This makes it more fun for me when I get to sit and talk while I'm doing my makeup. Otherwise, I don't just like to sit and do my face. I will literally pick somebody to do my face even though I know how to do my own makeup. Like I said, I really taught myself so that I could take photos and stuff to post as an influencer. And also so that I would know how to do my makeup when I go out and someone's not there. It's really kind of just a skill that I wanted to have so that I knew how, but it wasn't the thing that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I do love all things skincare and makeup and body care and stuff, but like I said, it's just a small part of who I am. Well, not a small part, it's a big part, but the reason that I take care of myself the way that I do is because I love myself. I like to nurture myself. I like to take care of myself. I like to have the things that I like, when it comes to products and what I'm using on my skin and what I'm using on my body, what I'm using on my hair, and even other material things that I talk about in life, household things. I like to have the things that I like. So of course I like talking about it and telling people about it, because when I get things that I like, I'm looking into it to really see what it is and make sure that it's the best. And so that allows you guys to be able to trust me, in my opinion, because I'm only going for the best, period. And I think y'all know that by now. Most people will say when I give them product recommendations, it's a hit. But the way that I got good at doing that is because of the way that I see things and my perception. Not a lot of people can come on as a beauty influencer and talk about products the way that I do. Look at brands and see what they're doing right or wrong. That actually takes a human with a decent brain, with experiences, with the ability to constantly seek knowledge so that you can pick out the best out there. And don't take this oh, she hates beauty, so she's gonna start doing something else now. No. I feel like I pretty much already hinted at and talked about how I won't be focusing on beauty forever, as my main thing. But I will always share the things that I like. I will always be a beauty influencer. I don't plan on making, maybe far down the line in life, I might make my own beauty line, but right now that's not what I plan to do. I still like working with brands. I still like trying new things. So I don't plan on coming out with my own things. So I'm going to continue talking about the things that are coming out. It's exciting for me. It's fun. And whenever I try new things and I like them, I'm going to share them. And whenever I get a chance to work with brands that I love and I get to, work with them to create something to share, I'm going to do that. This is still a big part of my life. And I think that I've done a decent job at, showing beauty and still showing more of myself within that. Like when I started doing the self-care Sunday sessions where I would talk about real life things but still show skincare, and then things like this where I do chit chats and I'm still showing some makeup and stuff. This is how I enjoy talking about products, is like through me talking to you about real life stuff, but also just sharing what it is I'm putting on my face, because why not? So I definitely want to do more content where makeup is not like the main priority, but it's something that I just show because it's actually what I'm doing, like within a vlog or with chit chats like this, or if I'm like actually trying something for the first time and I want to record it. But I'm probably not gonna do like sit down specific reviews for products anymore. Like, I don't know, typically I like to try things for a little while anyway, so it just feels better for me to include like certain product updates and things like that when I'm actually using it and when it makes sense to, and not just because, oh, it just came out, let me do a review, you know? Unless I feel like it makes sense for me to do that, or if I get it early, I get to try it, or, you know, I'm just gonna do what makes sense. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And I'll still do videos where beauty is the focus. I don't ever expect anyone who follows me to agree with everything that I do or be interested in everything that I do. It's literally impossible for any human to ever resonate fully with every part of another human. Like, we are all different people. We all come from different things. I put on way too much blush. We're different people. We come from different things, different experiences. We have different perceptions. Like, I'm not expecting anyone to look at me and just look up to every single part of what I do and what I share. Like, no. But let's say I do post something that means a lot to me that may not, you know, you probably don't give a shit about. I still expect respect because we're both human. And I think that as humans, we should respect each other a little bit more, because we don't. All I ask for is some humanity and some understanding around the fact that I am human. I'm also still young and still figuring things out, still exploring things. And honestly, I think I'm pretty cool. I think that my journey is pretty cool. So I mean, it's kind of a privilege that I'm letting you guys into it and that I'm allowing you to see me in my process, because, and I don't say that in a cocky way, but I mean, I know what I offer to this world, and I know that my message has meaning, and like I said, I know that my perspectives and, you know, the way that I see things and think has a big impact on other people. And despite how hard it can be to push through sometimes, I still let myself be vulnerable. I still let myself put myself out there, and I still work off screen, you know, to continue being the best version of myself so that I can be an example for those that need it, and only those that need it, not anybody else. Let me know in the comments if you need it, because those are the people that I'm here for. And I feel successful because of that. I don't just feel successful because of my financial gains. Like, yes, the money is great, but knowing that me being me fuels like transformation in you in some way, like that is the ultimate success to me. It's just a plus that I get to make money while I do it. And I feel like that is the piece that was missing before. You guys remember when I was like, oh my God, I can't find my purpose. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I gotta find my thing. Like, I was so confused about my career and my path despite all of the material and financial success. And it took me pulling back, really looking at myself, really allowing myself to see myself, to truly see that reflection that I was craving to see through my work. Entrepreneurship is hard enough, and I feel like sometimes we make it harder than it needs to be by trying not to be ourselves and really like trying to do it like everybody else. You can make anything easier or more manageable for yourself if you know yourself well enough to do that. And if you know yourself well enough to know what you need, and you need the confidence to trust that you deserve, you know, what it is that you want and what you need. I know I let a little bit of vulnerability out in my most recent reflection, and sometimes I do talk about personal stuff in my self-care Sundays, but I still don't think I've ever fully, like I said, let go like that. But you have to be honest about your why, and be honest about what success looks like and feels like to you, and what success looks like to you within your why. And forget about what other people say that your why should be, and forget about what other people are doing with their lives. Like, this is your life. Sometimes we seek other people and other things for answers that we already know. Your purpose for doing what you do to make money is just as important as how much money you're making, because you could have the money and not even be able to fully enjoy it because the way that you got it wasn't even aligned for you, and it wasn't even correct for you. People are really out here selling their souls for money or doing illegal things for money because they think that the money's gonna change things or money's gonna make them happy. If you're making money in a way that's not right for you, you're just chasing a lost cause. You're just chasing something that's not even real. Like, I'm at this place now where I don't even think money is real. So yeah, basically I say all that to say, while I was like doing my little away time, I've been thinking about how I want to fully show up this year, you know, how to really embrace who I am and how I do things and how I can show that through my content. I've been thinking of some creative ways to, you know, switch up how I do things a little bit. I've also been thinking a lot about the things that I will not be doing anymore this year. I have quite a few of them. Oh my God, this highlighter is so pretty. This is the Artist Couture highlighter. What shade is it? It's the loose one. Ooh, Conceited. The Diamond Glow powder. I'll put the link below. It's gorgeous. I like loose highlighters more than the powder highlighters. I think that the pigment just looks so much better. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about the things that I won't be doing this year too. One major thing that is kind of difficult for me to like trust myself to do, because it's something that I felt like I had to do for so long, even though it never freaking worked for me. And that is trying to stick to a schedule, like saying, oh, I'm gonna post every Sunday and Wednesday, or oh, I'm gonna post every Tuesday and Thursday, or oh, I'm gonna create content on this day and post on this day. Like, I'm not doing that no more. It's just gonna get posted when it get posted, for real. I'm also gonna stop like announcing when I'm taking a break or when I'm leaving, or announcing when I'm coming back, or announcing that I'm back. Like, I'm just gonna show up when I show up, you know? It doesn't always have to be like a scene or a whole dramatic thing when you take some time to yourself and come back. Like, you could just quickly say like, oh, this is what I was doing, but you don't have to sit there and be like, hey, I'm back and now we're gonna do this and do that and everything better. Like, no, because what if next week I feel like shit, you know? So I'm just gonna show up when it feels best too. I'm also gonna stop making promises about anything. Kind of similar to like not promising to post, but like just in general, like I just need to stop saying that I'm gonna do something unless it's like for sure, because I'm learning like the way that my energy works is not always consistent in any way. And so I have to stop putting on this front as if I am consistent when I'm not. I'm also going to stop like trying to reason with myself or reason with others why I spend money the way that I do, because I don't know, I'm learning that the way that I handle my money and my resources, it is a little bit risky at times, but it works for me. And I feel like I know how to move money and move resources in a way that, you know, helps me make more. And it looks weird to some people. Like, it's a very it's a very unconventional way to handle money and to go about resources, but I don't gotta explain to nobody what I do if it's working. Now, if I go to somebody for advice and they tell me something and then, oh wow, I just broke my lash. If I go to somebody for advice and they tell me, you know, what they think will work, and then I don't listen and then I get bit in the butt for it, that's different. But when it comes to me doing things that I know are correct for me, you know, without having to reach out to anybody or without whatever, and I can see the benefit myself, I don't have to explain to anybody why I did what I did. I gotta get a new pair of lashes. I'll be back. Okay, I just grabbed these Kiss lashes. The box is already open, but I didn't wear these yet, so I don't know how that happened. Maybe I opened them and then decided not to wear them or something. But what was I saying? Oh, something else that I said, or that I told myself I'm gonna stop doing this year, is like trying to force myself to stick to a routine. Because, bro, let me just be honest. A lot of these YouTube routines and stuff, they are fake and they're staged, and people don't really do them. Some do. I think some do, but for me, I might actually do the routine that I posted maybe like once or twice a week, but I think every day for me is different, you know? And so what I've been doing recently, instead of like trying to stick to a scheduled routine by hour or whatever, I have like set things that I do at certain parts of the day, and then I give myself a list of different options of what I could do during that time. So like, for example, in the morning, sometimes I like to work out and sometimes I like to read, or I'll do something like slight work like yoga, or I'll meditate or something. But I don't really decide what I'm gonna do that day until that day. Like, and that has been feeling like way less restrictive on me. Hopefully I didn't cut these lashes too much. Oh my God, I'm making a mess. Fuck, I think I cut this one. Damn, I think I cut this one too much. Oh my God, is this God telling me not to wear lashes? All right. If something goes wrong with these, I'm not wearing lashes today. Like, that's just not happening. So yeah, no routines this year, just a lot more flow, a lot more option. I actually do better, I think, when I have like some mystery in my days. Sometimes my best content happens on days where I just kind of decided it in the moment, you know? So I'm just trying to give myself some space to actually be creative instead of trying to fill my schedule up with a bunch of things and then not even really feeling ready to do it yet, you know? Now, there are obviously some things that I have to turn in on time and things like that, and those will have structure no matter what, unless I can figure out a way to make it as organic as possible. But just going for more chill, flowful, organic days on camera and off camera. Because honestly, this is the whole reason why I wanted to be an entrepreneur, was so that I could create a schedule that works best for me. But I can't be trying to create a schedule that works best for me based on what somebody else is doing, you know? I love having like full control over my days. So I gotta stop limiting myself by feeling like I gotta do what everybody else is doing and the way that they do it, and just trust that what feels right to me is gonna work for me, and it has been so far. Guess what? I don't have lash glue. Should I just not wear lashes? Because I gotta get up to get lash glue. I'm just gonna wear my lashes. I got my hair done. I don't need lashes. I'm gonna still look cute. I do not need lashes. I don't even like wearing lashes like that. I do, but oh my god. But my mascara's not in here either. Okay, wow. Why is my mascara not in here? I'm just gonna put it on and see if I really want to put it on. I don't know. I feel like I could wear my lashes and be fine. They're really pretty, but I'm gonna wear them. Okay, I'm gonna get the glue. Okay, got the glue. And then also something I kind of mentioned earlier too is just I gotta stop letting people tell me how I should or shouldn't be doing something. Like I said, I've gotten this far mostly by trusting myself and going against the grain and doing things the way that I wanted to do them. I can go further by continuing to trust myself and letting myself do things differently, even if people don't agree or even if people don't understand. I'm an Aquarius, okay? And it's Aquarius season. I'm here to express myself and do things differently than people. Like, that's the most basic way that you can describe an Aquarius, is weird, unique, different, innovative, rebellious. It makes no sense for me to not let myself be that, and like being afraid or like putting pressure on myself to listen to what other people are saying because I think that because they're saying it is better. Like, no. And honestly, trying to do what someone else thinks is right for me is not only giving my power away, but it's also doing myself and my growth a disservice. It's literally putting a limit on myself, because I feel like that directly puts limitations on, you know, the things that I really want, because I'm trying to get there by doing it the way someone else said. And that doesn't mean that there aren't people that can add value or add input to the way that I do things, because honestly, the way that I do things is based off of, you know, how I see other people doing them and just kind of creating it in a way that makes sense for me. So I still look for people. I still look to people for inspiration, and I look to people for their expertise that I may not have, but I'm not looking to copy somebody else's exact process. I'm not looking for someone to tell me what worked for them in their situation if it has nothing to do with mine. And I'm looking to stay inspired by people in their journey in a detached way, in a way that, like I said, I can pull what I need from it and apply it to my life in the most unique way, and in a way that makes sense for me. Wow, it's so hard to do this while talking. Okay, I'm gonna put on my other lash and come back. Okay, I got the lash on. I'm going to put on this Bobbi Brown shadow stick. It's in Dusty Mauve. This is the only thing I'm gonna put on my lid. I'm also wearing this outfit that has like some pink in it. I love these shadow sticks, you guys. Like, they changed the game for me. It literally makes it look like I tried to put on eyeshadow and I just literally just swiped a little bit and then blended it in with my finger. I love them. They're so good. But yeah, like, I think that there's a huge difference between constructive criticism and people just like completely criticizing your process or talking down on your process. And sometimes they do it without any real evidence or proof as to why you should change what you're doing. If you can come to me with a problem or something that you see that I'm doing wrong, and you feel like you've noticed that there is a solution, you know, that makes sense, I have no problem, you know, implementing that into my process, because, you know, you told me what you saw, you told me why you think that your solution will work for me, and I can see the possibility in that too. I'm not just gonna do something because, oh, that person said it. Like, no. You gotta come to me with the facts, okay? Sometimes people just give their own opinions and their own ideas, or just say things because they're insecure about what they're doing, you know? You gotta look out for that. That has nothing to do with me. But when I look at, you know, where I'm going a lot of people are not going to like me for it. So it's like, do I sacrifice my dream life to make these people comfortable, or just do what I want to do to get to where I want to be? I feel like sometimes we don't think about the fact that, you know, we want to accomplish all these things. We want to see ourselves, you know, as our highest selves and living our dream lives. But are we even being that person? Are we even standing in that place that will help us get there? There are certain like characteristics that you probably have or that you need to work on that are limiting you from actually living that life. And for me, like I said, one of them was not standing up for myself. Like I said, being attached to being accepted or being liked, being afraid of confrontation because I'm very sensitive and sometimes avoiding that highly emotionally charged environment where someone doesn't agree with me. It's easier to just escape than it is to confront. So I just have been trying to be a lot more aware of my sensitivities, and instead of letting them get the best of me and holding me back, just using them to be aware and to not hold on to what other people think or what they say or how they feel about anything that I do. You guys know Martin Luther King Jr. Day just passed, and one thing that I look up to him for, even though there's a lot, you know, to be inspired by through him, one thing that I really look up to him for was like his ability to stand in his truth, you know, and to fight for a revolution, even though there was so much hate for that. Like when you think about it, without his work, the civil rights movement would not have been what it was. And he literally had to deal with the backlash that came with that. When I think about, you know, leaders and being a leader, I realize that I will maximize my potential to lead and to be a leader when I'm able to lead from an authentic place, rather than lead the way other people say you should lead, or lead the way other people want me to lead, or even the way that society may make me feel that I should be leading or doing things. It feels best when it's authentic. And in order for my leading style to be authentic, I have to be authentic myself. Something else I am not doing in 2022 is working for free. Thank God, you know, I have my management now who helps me to filter out all the BS brands that still don't see the value in influencers. But even beyond that, like not even just in my influencing work, like I'm not providing any type of service for free. Like, and I don't mean free like money either. Like I mean free as in everything that I need, that I'm doing an exchange in, has to be some type of exchange. If it's not equal, it needs to be close to being equal. It's exchanging time, it's exchanging resources, it's exchanging brain power, exchanging finances, whatever it is. Like all the interactions that I want to have in my life, they need to have some type of benefit to me. Like that probably sounds selfish, but I know what I can bring to other people's lives. So I want to make sure that I'm also getting something back, you know, even if it's something as small as recognition or, you know, a shout out. Like I know the value of what I do and I deserve to be compensated for that. Something else I will not be doing is working with or working around people that I don't mess with like that, or that I don't feel comfortable, or that I can't be myself around, which, you know, huge shout out to my management team, Images Everything, because they continue to blow my expectations for management every day. I am like just so glad that I was intentional about choosing the management that I, you know, signed to. A lot of people don't know this, but I actually was signed to a management like 5 years ago at this point. It was like 2016, 2017. It was kind of close to when I was first starting out and I didn't really know what the heck I was doing. But I had signed with this like up and coming agency and they didn't do shit for me. Luckily, you know, they didn't take any of my money, but it was just a bad experience when it came to like talking to the manager and like actually getting advice and like basic communication. It was just bad. So I'm just so beyond grateful for my current management team. I'm honestly still kind of shook that I was even selected for it, because my management team is very small. They're very, very selective about who they choose to manage, which I like. It's almost like I knew that I was qualified, overqualified. And I knew that I was qualified, but now that I'm really in it, I'm like, yo, people are really lined up to work with my team, like the winning team, you feel me? We're not like the biggest, obviously, but I feel like that's a huge one up that we have because we are so close knit, and that feels really good to me in a workplace. Like I've literally left jobs because I couldn't be around certain people, and so to work with such an amazing group of people that is like just there for me and understand me and seek to understand me continuously and, you know, want to be a part of my evolution and my growth, like it's beyond. They have actually been a huge encouragement for me to step out and to be more myself because, you know, they see it in me. My manager, Jay, specifically, you know, she sees what I have. She just feels like I'm not expressing it to its full potential. And so she has helped me so much with just being okay with being myself. And in most workplaces, even in most management, you do not get that. You don't get people telling you to embrace yourself. You get people telling you, oh, you need to do things like this or it's wrong. I feel like everything that my team does is rooted in purpose. Like, even though my manager, Jay, could make so much money off of me, she still encourages me to rest. She still encourages me to only take the deals that I really want to take. And it feels so good to have somebody like that, you know, in my corner. I actually started to seek management because I felt like there wasn't an example or someone that I could go to in my industry that could help me, at least in the way that I wanted to be helped. Because there are a lot of management teams out there, but a lot of them are just trying to throw you deals because they're trying to make money. You know, it's not intimate, it's not one-on-one, it's not personable. So yeah, because I have such a great team, I'm extremely picky about anybody else that I interact with, because I'm like, if you're not even operating at this level, why would I settle for that? They have been supporting. I gotta plug in my flat iron. See what my hair is looking like, because I got it done a few days ago, but it might look crazy. And you guys will see my whole prep in my birthday prep vlog. You'll see who did my hair, my nails, my skin, all of that. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, like, they just support me so hard in my own evolution. They support me in getting my dream brand deals. They just support me, which just feels so good. I'm so grateful. And I also met Alyssa through Images Everything, and she is like, we're like this. You know what I mean? And we've only seen each other like twice in person. She's definitely someone that I feel like I was destined to meet, because she just gets it, you know? You know how there's just some people that you're just here with, like, we're just here all the time. Something else that I'm not doing this year is living in defense mode, or like constantly getting defensive. I was actually watching, you guys know the CEO of Ajwa Beauty, Julian. She was on live the other night, and she was talking about how influencers, sometimes we operate from this defensive place where we're constantly trying to prove ourselves, constantly trying to explain ourselves, almost like putting up these boundaries before people can even say something, because we're anticipating the backlash. So I'm trying not to live in defense mode anymore. I just want to say what I say and mean what I say, and that's it. I might say something different next week, but hey, that's how I am. I don't have to say something and then say, oh, but, and I don't have to say like, oh, this is sponsored, but, you know, like, I don't have to anticipate people saying something about it before they even do it. And another huge way that I've been living in defense mode is not only with like my influencing work, but also my real life. I feel like I have been living in this low-key defensive mode with my family too, because like I mentioned a lot, I've been saying it a lot recently, I always grew up feeling so different. And so when I would explain to people or tell people what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, sometimes they would like question it or like look at me sideways, or, you know, whatever the case is. They would just have their opinions. And I would always, you know, get defensive and feel like I gotta explain this and explain that. And it's just not, I just don't have to do that. And I'm not doing that no more. There's a difference between like explaining yourself and feeling like you have to defend yourself. Like, it just shouldn't be like that. I'm looking for this comb and it's right here in my face. And then speaking of my family, I did mention this in my reflection, but I've been thinking about it a lot more. I plan on making my family ties like a huge part of this year for me. I haven't always had like the best relationship with my parents. Like I said, they always provided everything that I've ever needed and more. But I feel like, again, because I grew up feeling so different, it was hard for me to express when I felt certain ways about things, or when I didn't want to do things, or when I did want to do things. Like, my parents were cops, and, you know, even though they weren't like the strictest cops, they were still pretty stern. They were still pretty, what would be the right word? Completely out of love. They just have always wanted the best for me, and I appreciate that. But sometimes the way that I wanted to do things was like a little bit too off to them, even though it made sense for me, you know? So that kind of goes back again to how I was saying how I feel about trusting myself. And growing up, like I mentioned, my parents had money for real, you know, like I never lacked anything, but I knew that growing up that I wanted to have my own money. Like I wasn't trying to live off my parents or bank off my parents' money. I wanted to have my own money. And my parents aren't cheap, but I'm definitely more bougie than them. And I used to always feel weird about it and bad about it because I wanted to have like certain things and like, you know, spend a lot of money sometimes, and they would be like, what the heck? I just, you know, I didn't want my parents continuing to buy me things that I wanted as an adult, especially knowing that they don't see money that way. You know, they're older, we're Black, you know, for us to even have what we have to get by means a lot. But for me and what I want to do in life, I don't want to just get by. I want to have like enough and more, and I want to be able to enjoy that without feeling like, oh, I got a coupon and oh, I gotta save and blah blah blah. Like that might sound unrealistic, because to me it felt like it was unrealistic, and I felt like I had to stick to a certain way to manage my money. But like I said, I've figured out and I've learned that the way that I move resources works for me, and I want to continue to trust that and be honest with my parents about that, and not be so afraid to say that and express that, even though they are my parents and, you know, they always want the best for me and they might not agree with what I choose to do. Plus, I want to be able to put my parents in like nice ass hotels and take them to nice restaurants just to show them the product of what they did for me. You know, it's because of them that I'm able to do what I want to do and to have what I have, because it means so much to me to be able to make money doing what I love. And like I said, I would not have been in position to do that without them. And so I do want to talk to them more, and I want to, you know, share things that I'm doing and share just a lot more with them without feeling scared that they're going to not agree with it or whatever the case is. Now that I feel like I know myself and I understand myself on such a deeper level, I can go to my friends and family from this place of self-acceptance and not from this defensive mode. They gave me the foundation, but there's no way that I'd be where I am if I stayed safe and just stayed at home and just kept doing things the way that I felt like they wanted me to do them. Not that they ever really put restrictions on me and what I decided to do, but I'm just saying for my own development, like I could have done that. I could have just stayed safe, stayed home, listened to what they thought was best, but I catapulted myself into my own journey. My parents supported me through that as best as they knew how, and with that space I was able to figure out who I really am and what I really want, and that means so much to me. So there has definitely been some distance between us through this process of me trying to figure out who I am and what I believe and what I stand for and what I want, but I got through it, and I'm excited to share, you know, this new and renewed version of myself to my friends and family. And it really wasn't easy for me to like really find myself and really do things how I want to do them when I was younger, growing up, because like I said 100 times, I was afraid of what people would think or what they would say, because I knew it was different. One of the main reasons why I left Baltimore and came to Miami was because I didn't like some of the restrictions and limitations that I felt like I had. I literally felt restricted in my own dreams and what I wanted, because I didn't see anybody else around me doing it the way that I felt like I wanted to. So going out on my own was like the best thing I could have done. And like I said, I'm just so grateful that I still had my parents' support through that, even though through that communication has not been its strongest. So a huge thing this year for me is definitely talking to my mama and dada and people a lot more. They can be a little judgmental, you know, and it's always with good intent and it's always genuine. But like I said, here I am, the only weird ass Aquarius in my family. Because I didn't have an example right there in my face, I never felt validated and accepted for being weird and different. I struggled so much with just embracing myself, not even because they would say necessarily negative things. So I guess you could say there was some lack of emotional support. I constantly felt like I had to have answers to everything, and the way that I move in the world is like I don't always have answers, and I always felt like I had to portray this image that other people projected onto me, even though at my core and in my heart that's not who I really was. I was just kind of suppressing the real me out of fear. I knew that if I fully expressed myself, people would be a little bit uncomfortable. So I shape-shifted and I polished up most of my life just to avoid that tension and just to avoid that possible negative feedback. And then I ended up just feeling really bitter and lost and sad, which is why I ended up coming to Miami. Moving away helped me to see the world in my own lens. I started realizing and finding hobbies and things that I never would have tried if I stayed home. I feel like my entire process from the day I left Baltimore up until now has really been me redefining myself, or really just getting back to who I was before I took on the projections of everyone else. Like, I was getting slapped left to right with stuff that would force me to find myself, like navigating through college and navigating through trying to figure out a career, trying to figure out how to make money in this crazy ass world, navigating my first real relationship while also still trying to form and understand the relationship that I have with myself. Honestly, like, with my relationship with Dre, I feel like there were so many green flags that I wanted to make red flags because I was so afraid. I was like just afraid to fully let myself be in something that felt right, even if it didn't look the way that I wanted it to look in the beginning, or even if it didn't look how I thought my parents would think that a relationship should look for me, you know? Just like everything else in my life, I feel like our relationship is a little bit unconventional. Like, we're not couples goals that you see on Instagram. We're not taking pictures of what we do all day, every day, and we're not like all lovey-dovey. Like, I definitely think that we're a different type of couple, but it works for us and it works for me and it makes me happy and it makes me feel seen and appreciated. And it makes me feel seen and appreciated for who I really am and not this facade that I think I need to be. I don't feel like stifled in my growth with him. And I mean, like, even through the challenging time, I truly feel like he's someone that I can do life with. Like, he's been there with me literally since before I graduated college. He is one of the strongest people that I know, and that empowers me to be strong and to embrace the strong qualities and characteristics that I have. I wouldn't say that he makes me stronger, but just seeing that example and seeing it in him makes me realize, like, oh, like, I could be strong too. You feel me? Like, he was there with me through getting my first place, through like the first few years of learning how to be an adult, managing my money, and doing all this by myself, like miles away from my friends and family at home. He was there through navigating this entire pandemic. Like, we made it through the pandemic. Like, that's kind of he was my right hand, and he has been there for me through everything, and I've been there with him the same way. And it honestly only gets better with time. Like, I feel like people escape relationships a little too early, but that's a whole nother thing. And he's also a pretty unconventional person himself, so that encourages me to embrace my more unconventional side. So yeah, he's been a huge part of my development as well. And then I've also, you know, these past few years since I left home, I've been trying to navigate my connection to spirit and my connection to source. I know it probably looks like I just started doing that recently when I started talking about human design and stuff, but this is something I've been working on for years. It's just that human design is the thing that stuck with me. And it stuck with me because it didn't stick. You feel me? I knew something was missing, but I didn't know what. And then human design was kind of like, nothing's missing. You're just not seeing yourself fully. Human design like gave me permission to not feel the need to identify with anything and to just allow myself to move towards what feels right to me. And that helped me connect with myself so much because it, again, gave me permission to trust myself. And that helped me with my relationship and in my personal life. I'm gonna use Prada Candy tonight. I love this scent. It's such a girl's night scent. Like, it's like sexy but sweet. I love it. I'm gonna put some on top of my outfit too. I've also been navigating, which you guys have seen firsthand, like I've been navigating my connections to my skin and like my hair and my health, like going through so many changes with that. The biggest lesson I've learned through all of this really is that I am so fluid and I have to give myself permission to be fluid. That is how I learn, and that is how I energetically operate in the world. And in the real world, honestly, like, it can make true fluidity and true authenticity seem like a bad thing. It makes it hard to embrace because you can't put a label on it. But authenticity cannot be overpowered, and that is the thing that I think shakes people up. Like, instead of trying to hide it to make people comfortable, like, shake people up a little bit, y'all. These past 6 years, like I said, since I left Baltimore, have been whew. And with that came me learning how to make decisions that were an alignment for me, and not from a place of defensiveness, not from, oh, I gotta do this because someone else did it, not from anything besides my own self. And through that, there was some questioning of myself, you know, questioning if I was doing the right thing. Definitely a lot of doubting myself, definitely a lot of like beating myself up because I felt like I wasn't sticking to what everyone else was sticking to, even though it was all working out for me, just for the simple fact that it wasn't necessarily the way that I was taught. I would sometimes feel lost because nobody really understood it, and I felt bad about that. So then it just became me essentially shedding all these older versions of me that was suppressed and afraid and scared, letting go of the idea of the way that I thought things were supposed to be, and just letting myself be. And yeah, my process is kind of messy. My process is kind of all over the place. It's definitely unconventional, but you know, I'm happy with it. And when I look in the mirror and I see myself, I'm happy with that reflection and I'm happy with where I'm going. It's still hard for me to anticipate the possibility of people not understanding or possibly being totally against what I do or how I do it. And depending on who that's coming from, it can hurt. I still acknowledge when certain things hurt me or when certain things trigger my emotions, because pretending like it doesn't affect me emotionally would just be worse. But acknowledging my feelings helps me also to release them so I don't have to hold on to them. I feel like I have so much going for myself. Like, I'm just ready to continue breaking boundaries and to continue exceeding my own expectations. I'm really trying to continue shifting my thinking a little bit and trusting that I deserve to have the things that I want and that I deserve all the great things that are happening for me and that are coming to me, which is hard, but I'm getting there. Okay, so I need to get dressed because it's already 6:14. I was supposed to leave at 6. All right, so it's kind of dark in here, but here's the fit. Got it from Mistress Rocks. I'm also gonna wear this brown purse that I got from, I don't remember. I gotta put it down below. I'm about to put this on now, and I'm also gonna wear my Steve Madden brown shoes. This top is a little tight. Okay. Looks good. Right. All right. Quick fit check. Got the purse. Looks good. All right, we out. All right, guys. So unfortunately, I couldn't like talk while I was vlogging here because the music was so loud and would have had copyright. But this is my girl Kira. Just wanted to thank y'all for watching this video. I hope that you got something from it. This was kind of like the pre-game dinner for my birthday. It was a few days before my birthday. So I do have a birthday vlog coming out soon. I'm actually super excited for 25. Like, this is the first year that I feel like I actually know myself and I'm ready to go full force with all of my dreams and stuff. So make sure you are subscribed to my channel, of course, if you are not already. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And hopefully I will see you guys all in the next one. Love y'all. Bye.
They say much they thought I was shy. I took off and went straight to the top. They can't fit me, a nigga too high. You need to stop living a lie. You know we keep sticks like the shot. I know I be rich before I die.